So what happens when a group of arrogant hotel staffers decide to treat someone poorly based on their own biases? Unfortunately, in most cases they get away with it. But in this case they had no idea who they were messing with. Let's just say Kara has a funny way of turning things around. It all started on a sunny Thursday afternoon. The lobby of the Grand Monarch Hotel was bustling with activity as guests checked and staff bustled about, and the front desk phone rang incessantly. Among the crowd was a poised black woman named Vanessa Brooks, dressed casually in a flowy blouse and tailored slacks. Vanessa exuded quiet confidence. She carried nothing that would immediately indicate her status, no flashy jewelry or entourage, just a small overnight bag slung over her shoulder. Vanessa had purchased the Grand Monarch Hotel 6 months ago. It was her dream to own a piece of history and transform the struggling establishment into a beacon of hospitality and excellence. But instead of a grand unveiling or press conference, Vanessa decided to take a quieter approach. She wanted to observe how the staff operated under normal circumstances before implementing changes. That day, she intended to check in anonymously and get a feel for how things were running. Approaching the front desk, Vanessa was met with a frosty stare from Lauren, the receptionist. Lauren, a young woman with perfectly manicured nails and a name tag tilted just slightly off center, glanced Vanessa up and down. Her tone was curt. "Can I help you?" she asked, her words laced with disinterest. Vanessa smiled warmly. "Yes, I have a reservation for this evening. Name Brooks, Vanessa Brooks." Lauren frowned as she tapped away on the computer keyboard. A few seconds later, she looked up, her eyebrows knitting together. "I'm not seeing your name here. Are you sure you booked with us?" "Yes, I'm sure," Vanessa replied, maintaining her composure. "I received a confirmation email just this morning." She pulled out her phone to show Lauren the email, but the receptionist barely glanced at it. "While the system says there's no reservation under that name," Lauren said flatly, crossing her arms. "Are you sure you didn't book at the Monarch? And that's a motel a few blocks down." A hush fell over the nearby guests, some of whom glanced over uncomfortably. Vanessa's expression didn't falter. "I'm positive I booked here," she said firmly. "Perhaps you could check again." Lauren sighed dramatically, clearly annoyed. "Look, ma'am, I've already checked. There's no reservation under your name, and honestly, if you don't have a reservation, I'm afraid there's nothing I can do. We fully booked." At this point, a middle-aged man in a suit, the hotel manager, Mr. Franklin, approached the desk, noticing the tension. "Is there a problem here?" Lauren gestured toward Vanessa. "This woman claims she has a reservation, but it's not in the system. I was just explaining that we're fully booked." Vanessa turned her attention to Mr. Franklin, her smile still intact but her patience waning. "I'm Vanessa Brooks. I'm made a reservation here and have a confirmation email to prove it." Mr. Franklin gave her a dismissive once-over. "I'm sorry, but if the reservation isn't in our system, there's nothing we can do. Perhaps you could find accommodations elsewhere." The condescension in his voice was palpable. Vanessa decided to take a different approach. "Could you call your corporate office? They'll be able to verify my reservation." Lauren rolled her eyes. "Ma'am, we're extreme busy. We can't spend time chasing down a mistake that's not ours." Before Vanessa could respond, a security guard approached, likely called over by Lauren. He stood tall, arms crossed. "Is there a problem here?" he asked. Vanessa raised an eyebrow. "No problem," she said, "just a misunderstanding about my reservation." The security guard looked to Lauren, who said she doesn't have a reservation and refuses to leave. "I never refused to leave," Vanessa corrected calmly. "I'm simply asking for clarification about my reservation." The guard's posture stiffened. "Ma'am, if you don't leave voluntarily, I'll have to escort you out." At this point, the other guests in the lobby were visibly uncomfortable, whispering among themselves. Some even pulled out their phones to record the unfolding scene. But Vanessa wasn't fazed. Instead, she pulled out her phone, opened her contacts, and made a call. "Hello, this is Vanessa Brooks," she said into the phone. "I'm at the Grand Monarch Hotel and having a bit of an issue. Could you send over the regional director and legal team? Thank you." She ended the call and turned to the staff. "I'll wait right here." The confidence in her voice unsettled Lauren and Mr. Franklin, but they didn't dare back down. Instead, they exchanged nervous glances and muttered to each other. 15 minutes later, a tall man in a tailored suit entered the lobby, flanked by 2 other individuals. He approached Vanessa with a broad smile. "Miss Brooks, I'm so sorry for the inconvenience. We'll get this sorted out immediately." The room went silent as everyone watched the interaction. Mr. Franklin's face turned pale. "Wait," he stammered. "Miss Brooks, you mean?" The man in the suit turned to Franklin. "Yes, this is Vanessa Brooks, the owner of the Grand Monarch Hotel." The shock on Lauren and Mr. Franklin's faces was almost comical. Lauren's mouth opened and closed like a fish out of water. I didn't know," she whispered. Vanessa's smile finally faded, replaced by a look of quiet determination. "That much is clear," she said, "and it's exactly why I chose to come in anonymously, to see how guests Are treated when you think no one is watching. She turned to the man in the suit. Please have the staff's training records pulled. I want a full review of their conduct and adherence to company policies. Turning back to Lauren, and Mr. Franklin, Vanessa's tone was firm. Your behavior today was unacceptable, not just to me, but to any guest who walks through those doors. This is not the kind of establishment I want to run. Mr. Franklin stammered an apology, but Vanessa held up her hand. Save it, actions speak louder words. Consider this your formal notice, effective immediately. You're both relieved of your duties. Lauren's eyes filled with tears, but she didn't protest. Mr. Franklin, on the other hand, tried to argue. You can't just fire me without actually I can. Vanessa interrupted. And I just did. Over the next few weeks, Vanessa implemented a complete overhaul of the hotel's policies and staff training programs. She held workshops on cultural sensitivity, customer service, and conflict resolution. The changes didn't happen overnight, but slowly the Grand Monarch Hotel began to earn a reputation for excellence, not just in its amenities, but in the way it treated every guest. Vanessa's story quickly went viral, with headlines praising her for taking a stand against discrimination. But for Vanessa, it wasn't about the publicity. It was about setting a standard and proving that everyone deserves respect regardless of how they look or where they come from. I.e., in the end, Vanessa's quiet determination turned the Grand Monarch Hotel into a shining example of hospitality done right, and every time she walked through the lobby, she was greeted with warmth, respect, and gratitude, a testament to the power of leading by example.